Dogs that are clearly saying, I'm not really sure about you, and humans desperately trying to force feed them cookies or treats, talking, getting all low, talking all sweet, handing food, trying different food. And it got me to thinking, like, man, you guys, like, you're making it weird. Like, you're making it weird. It's borderline pick me girl vibes, if you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying. Today on the podcast, an incredibly controversial topic. Your fearful dog doesn't have to like you. What? I know, it's true. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It's Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. I am glad that you are here with me today. I want to talk about something really, really important. I was out working with a client and I came across a concept that I don't think I've ever put it into words before like this, and I wanted to share. But before I do, I would like to take a moment and this is just for my incredible community, the Fearless Framework student community. I just want to take some time. If you're listening to this, I just want to take some time to give you an amazing shout out, because you guys, you humble me every single day. I cannot be more, happy, just so thrilled to be a part of such an incredible community. I'll tell you an inside sort of scoop. As someone who is trying very hard to stay off social media as much as possible, because I don't know if you're aware of this, but the world's gone completely banana beans crazy, and it is really challenging to keep your spirits up and to be happy. And so as a result, I'm trying intentionally to not be on my phone as much. I try to pick my times to check my messages or check inside the group. Because even if I try to jump quickly to my groups, which is where all the love is, inevitably something will catch my eye and I'll be like, what is happening? What's going on? And before you know it, I'm down a rabbit hole and I'm feeling miserable and I'm like, what is happening? So I've been intentionally trying to not touch my phone. Okay. And so what generally happens is that when I do pick up the phone and check, there are times when I will see somebody has made a post inside the Facebook community, and I'll read it and I'll think, okay, you know what? I'm going to kind of sit on that a little bit and kind of reflect on it. And then, give a thought out answer. So sometimes, quite often, I will read it, but I won't answer it right away because I want to make sure that I'm being very thoughtful about it. And 9 times out of 10, when I come back to the question, my incredible community has already answered it, and they have already rallied behind, especially if it's one where, things are sort of getting you down or something happened and you're like, oh man, I feel like I really messed up. Before I know it, there's already a bunch of comments in there and people just saying, you're doing great and being so positive and so amazing. And I just, honestly, I know I'm a crier. I'm like a full-on crier. I will actually start to tear up a little bit. I think more than ever, right now in this moment in history, I think that we really need to be kind to one another. Like, the world just needs like a little dose, a little bit more kindness just from everybody. And the kindness runneth over in that group. And I'm so honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to be a part of it. And oh, thank goodness they are there. That's all I have to say. My hope is that when the world seems less crazy, and this is just me thinking out loud, but when the world, my little sidebar, my husband and I have always we've loved like doing retreats and stuff like that. We used to have a facility where we could like do 7-day events and all that stuff. But we moved here and we thought, what a great place to have people come and visit with their dogs and whatnot. I'm telling you right now, that's still in the back burner for my student community. Can you imagine how amazing that would be if we all just sort of came, y'all come to Nova Scotia and you bring your dogs and we walk on the beach together and we have a great time. And I know right now my good friend Heather in Australia is like, that's a hard ask for me to come to Nova Scotia with Jordy. But if there was a way, I would love to I just love to hang out with all of you and just be around a campfire and talk about dogs and make s'mores. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. Shout out. Shout out and also shameless plug. If you are someone that is struggling and you want the best community of dog lovers, you have to come into the Fearless Framework student community. I'm just going to put that out there. You won't find a better group of people. I'm telling you. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it today. All right, today, this is a spicy topic, isn't it? Your fearful dog doesn't have to like you. Mic drop. Boom. I said it. Your fearful dog doesn't have to like you. And as I mentioned, the reason why this came up is I was out with a client and it was a 6-month-old and we were, very, very fearful dog. And we were trying to, work on relationship. And she was just so focused on this idea of, the dog had to like her. The dog had to like the people that were coming into the house. The dog had to like them. And so it's the classic scene, and it is a classic scene, and I see it all the time. Dogs that are clearly saying, I'm not really sure about you, and humans desperately trying to force feed them cookies or treats, talking, getting all low, talking all sweet, handing food, trying different food. And it got me to thinking like, man, you guys, like, you're making it weird. You're making it weird. It's borderline pick me girl vibes, if you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Does anyone understand the pick me girl reference? Is anyone else a Grey's Anatomy fan like me? I love Grey's Anatomy. I've watched the whole series multiple times. But that's the vibe. That's the vibe that I get. Because I remember, if you haven't watched Grey's Anatomy, and you're like, I'm just going to watch Grey's Anatomy, I'm not wrecking much for you other than, there's this one, in my opinion, it was a cringy moment where, Meredith goes up and is just like, pick me, choose me, love me. And it's like, when she said it, I was like, oh, like, also, oh, like, you're better than that. Like, I don't know. It just had a cringy moment too. And I think now the pick me girl has become actually a thing. I think the youth are saying it, and I don't even think they know what show it came from. But it just gives that vibe. And so now when I see people do it, when I see people trying so hard to get a fearful or unconfident dog to just take the treat, just pick me, choose me, love me, like, it just makes me go, man, you're making it weird and you're trying too hard, right? There's a reason why we fall into the pick me track. Don't get me wrong. I get it, right? It's human nature, especially us nurturing types where we see a fearful dog and we just want to like make sure that they know that we're nice and we're not going to hurt them and they're okay with us. That's what it feels like, right? We so badly want to fix their fear by winning them over. But did you hear all of the we's and us in there? Did you hear me say We so badly want them to know that we're nice, that we're okay, that we're gonna be fine for them. That's a lot of we, which means that's our ego. That's 100% our ego, right? We're not actually looking at the dog and thinking about the dog and their needs. We're thinking about our own ego, how it makes us feel. Because we feel bad if we made a dog feel uncomfortable. So we work so hard to make sure that they will connect with us and please pick me, love me, choose me, choose me. So this is your moment to kind of reflect on that. And this was when I was talking with the client, I was like, I hate to say this, but your dog doesn't have to like you. And she was like, that is like, I mean, she literally, I was surprised she didn't kick me out. But I'm like, your dog actually doesn't have to like you right now. Your dog's having a fearful moment. We're not working towards liking you. We're looking towards the dog trusting you. And that's different, right? Because toys, treats, and over-the-top affection, those things will buy you attention, but it's not going to build trust. Ouch. Let me say that again. Toys, treats, and over-the-top affection is going to buy you attention, but it is not going to build trust. And fearful dogs will often take the bribe. And I see it time and time again. The fearful dog will reach their neck out, snag the treat, and then go back to being just as damn fearful as they were before. Now, I know there's going to be people that are like, yes, but you can change their dog's emotional response with all the food and blah, 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 blah. But if we're talking about short encounters with other people, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because trust isn't transactional. You can't buy trust. Trust is earned through consistency, calmness, and leadership, right? So we really need to shift that question of, does my dog like me or love me, to does my dog trust me? That's where the real question is. Does my dog trust me? Trust is built through, you can probably name it with me, predictability, right? I talk about predictability all the time. And it's not just predictability of your actions. This is the hardest part. It's the predictability of your emotions as well. And we humans, we're darn emotional, especially in this day and age. Anyone else just kind of finding themselves losing it over the stupidest things? We are all currently in an environment where we are overtaxed and just inundated with a lot of negativity. And so our emotional predictability is going to be called into question here with our dogs, right? We need to have that calm leadership. We need to have clear communication without forcing them or like overloading them or making it weird. I say that a lot. I say that a lot to people. I'm like, you want to connect with your dog, but don't make it weird. Like, don't make it weird. Like all of the additional, like, you know, and the little baby talk and all of that stuff. If you've got like a confident dog and they've learned from you and whatnot, then none of this applies to you. You can continue to talk baby talk to your dog. I'm just talking about for people that adopt a dog that is innately fearful. It's in their life and it's innately fearful and they don't necessarily know the background and they're trying to just over the top communicate all these things. You would be far better off with a fearful dog. I think you're far better off with all dogs, but especially fearful dogs, to just shut your mouth, right? Take those brilliant words from my mentor, Nelson, that if you want to talk to your dog, shut your mouth. Right? Because all of the extra stuff is just making it weird. And it's just you desperately trying to get a dog to like you. And we don't need that, right? A lot of people don't like it when I say this, but I'm like, you got to kind of play hard to get, right? Play hard to get. Don't make it weird, right? And you might want to ask yourself, am I interesting enough to follow? Like, can I make myself just interesting to follow me, not to get their attention, but to follow me? And what I mean by that is that, can we go out in the environment and can I get the dog to kind of go over a log with me, or like, let's go see this thing over here? Can I get a dog to follow me? Because a fearful dog will want to kind of hang back and see and not want the face-to-face stuff and the arms sticking out in their face, but they're more likely to follow you if you're being interesting and fun. Right? What makes you trustworthy and not just likable is a calm presence under pressure. Right? When things get rough, you're still calm. Predictable responses, right? Again, predictable responses in how you physically respond to the dog, yes, 100%, but your emotional response to the dog. And then respecting the dog's thresholds, right? Seeing that they're like, okay, that's too much for you. What happens if I kind of ease off that pressure a little bit, give you some space, some time? Fearful dogs need space and time. Right? And then being their advocate when they are overwhelmed. You know, when people are coming up to them and they're like, oh my gosh, look at how cute. Being an advocate, being like, she doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. He doesn't want a cookie, you know, saying no. As I say, I think the easiest way to do it, instead of being a pick-me girl, you really need to start playing hard to get. I don't know if you recall the story of Levi, but I talked a lot about this idea that when he started to come around, and it took him days to do that, but when he started to come around and he was close enough for me to touch him, oh my gosh, it took everything in my power to not reach out and touch him, to not be all grabby and be like, smell my hand and pet me and all that stuff. Like, it was one of the hardest things for me to do. So I get how hard it is, but you have to really work towards that. And just always keep in mind that your fearful dog doesn't need you to perform for them. They need you to be somebody worth following, right? So this is where your relationship that you're trying to win with affection, you can ask yourself, how do I start building trust instead? What can I do to make this dog trust me? Really drive that point home. And I'll tell you right now, it's not at the end of a cookie. And don't get me wrong, you can still use treats and food and all of that stuff, and you should. But I'll tell you right now, when I start working with a fearful dog, I don't ever try to hand them a treat, ever. I will use their food and treats, and I will go and I'll hide it in the grass, and then we'll go search for it together. And then we'll maybe the dog will consume it. Maybe the dog will just look at me kind of weird, like, where'd this food come from? But we'll find it together. I don't not use food. Let's get that clear. I'm not saying don't use treats or don't use food. You can 100% use food. Just don't do it in a bribey, like me sort of way. Like, because it comes across as bribing. Like, I have food in my hand, so therefore you should trust me. That food doesn't give you the trust. The fact that the dog ate the food doesn't give you the trust. What gives you the trust is the predictability. You showing up every day, being somebody worth following, doing fun things that are fun and worth following, not putting the pressure on the dog to do anything other than to just hang out with you. All of that stuff. Trust grows in very small, quiet moments, right? So you're probably doing better than you think. Just toss the cookie treat jar. Just forget about it for a reason, right? Because remember, the whole point of this is that we want to be the reason and the reward in our dog's life, not just the person that carries the treat bag. That's the ultimate goal. And again, once you get that, having the treats makes it like the gravy, you know, the gravy on top of the poutine or the icing on the cake. I always have a problem with that analogy. It's gravy on the cake. Ew. Ooh, anyway. So there you go, my friends. You don't have to, your fearful dog doesn't have to like you, right? Do they like you? Yeah, they do. But you don't have to work so hard. And that's certainly not the way to build the trust and build the relationship. So if you are someone who is working with a fearful dog and you are not already inside the Fearless Framework student community, why not? Why not? Get in there, my friends. Get in there. Be a part of the most incredible group of people you're ever going to want to meet. They're just the kindest, sweetest, most caring, most encouraging group of people you'll ever want to meet. Trust me, you'll get in there and you'll be like, you weren't kidding, Tracy. These people are great, and they are. They're the greatest people. They are dog lovers just like you and me, all just trying to work towards the same thing. We're all working. We're all on this path. We're all on this journey together. There's going to be some pitfalls, and you want a nice supportive community to be there with you when it happens. So how are you going to do that? You're going to go to beyondobedience.ca/fearless and hop into that community. Jump in there, get the do-it-yourself program with all the videos and the homework and all that stuff. Plus, you get a rock-solid community that you won't find anywhere else. So, beyondobedience.ca/fearless to get into that. And if you liked this episode, if you're into this kind of thing, if you are like, I am somebody that wants to build a bond of trust and not just a bond and a foundation of cookies. What is it? If you build your foundation on treats, don't be surprised if it crumbles. What? Mic drop. I think I said that once and I was like, I gotta write that down. That's so good. If you build your foundation with your dog based on cookies and treats, don't be surprised if it crumbles. Pam! Gosh, if you like this episode, do me a favor and go to Apple Podcasts. Give me a 5-star written review. It does help to push this podcast out to more and more people. Or if you're on Spotify, leave me a comment. Let me know. If you haven't already taken the doganality quiz, do that. Take the doganality quiz. You can go to beyondobedience.ca/quiz. Take that quiz. Jump in on that. Then join the Living Beyond Obedience group and tell me what you got. Tell me what you got. Tell me if you believe it. Tell me if you think it's right, and we'll talk about it. Lots of great stuff, fun stuff coming up. Inside both of those amazing communities. I hope that you're a part of it. I love having you in my life. I love sharing this journey with other dog lovers like you. So if you have a friend, you're like, hey, have them check out the podcast, share the podcast with your friends on socials, whatever you can do to share this out. I would be appreciative of that. As always, get out there today, my friend, and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you're amazing, and so do I. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.